We are talking quieter because it's literally 1 in the morning and Lily's sleeping. This is the winning answers of the decade. It started 2010 with Jimena Negrete, Miss Mexico, winning Miss Universe in Las Vegas. Her question was,
in your opinion, what is the effect of unsupervised internet use among youth today, or today's youth?
Okay, what's the impact on today's youth? And her answer was something along the lines of, the internet is an indispensable, necessary tool for the present time, but we have to make sure we're teaching children the values we learn as a family and to use the internet properly. That's not word for word, but it was something along those lines. She was calm, collected, and confident. I think that was her biggest advantage with giving her answer, is that she was just so calm and confident that I think that's what helped her win. Now we're moving on to 2011, Layla Lopes from Angola.
If you could change one of your physical characteristics, what would it be and why?
I said, thank God, I'm very well satisfied with the way God created me. I wouldn't change a thing. I consider myself a woman endowed with inner beauty. I have my principles.
This is an interesting one because it seemed like it took her and the translator a very long time to give this answer, because she got like the noise, like the big
buzzer.
Binging noise.
Yeah, she was gonna give a piece of advice, and then she ended up saying respect one another, but the bell rang.
Yeah, it's basically just respect.
Yeah, hashtag respect.
And then moving on in 2012, Olivia Copo, what is something you have done that you would never do again? Yeah, you can talk about what she said.
When I first heard this answer, I was not impressed. First, I loved that she was so like off the cuff. It was like a conversation, but I didn't like how she finished it. First, I'd like to say that every experience, no matter what it is, good or bad, you'll learn from it. That's just life. Something that I regret is picking on my siblings growing up, because you appreciate them so much more as you get older, you get closer with your family, everyone picks on their siblings, but I don't regret it.
Yeah.
So basically she says this is what she regrets, but then she doesn't regret it. So I think the way she said, like just the way she said it could have been better, but again, you have to remember how hard it is to be up on that stage and doing this, answering these questions. And then somebody said recently to me that they were at Miss Universe 2012 and Olivia was the only one on stage who was like dancing to the music in the commercial breaks, fixing other girls' makeup, fixing their lipstick, like just being in the moment, loving it, helping the other girls. 2013, Gabriela Isler of Venezuela, she was asked, what is your biggest fear and how do you plan to overcome it?
Steven Tyler asked the question, which I thought was funny. Yeah, she answered it fine. She basically said, like, I believe that a lot of people have fear, but nonetheless, there's nothing negative about that. I believe we should overcome all our fears and maybe come out stronger. I wrote it down, but my writing is so bad that sometimes I can't understand what I actually wrote down. So.
And that when we are sure of ourselves, we can face any challenge. So it was good, inspirational, great. It won her the crown.
It was like a good answer again, and a lot of these answers though, it's super easy just to appeal to the masses and not be like super specific in your answer.
Well, and I think where we see a change is right now, 2014. Finally, the girls are saying more on stage. Rather than one question, they're being asked 2 questions. 2014, it was still under Trump. Fortunately, the girls got asked 2 questions because it just gives us more opportunity to get to hear them speak, learn more about them. So the first question asked to Paulina.
What can women learn from men? Ended up not giving a very good answer at all,
No, she literally said like 2 sentences. I believe that there are still men that believe in equality. I believe that is what women can learn from men.
Yeah.
And then I put, not great, not great, not great. And you can tell on her face though that she was not happy. Second question. Thank God there was a second question for Paulina, because Paulina, I really believe, deserved that crown, but her second question was, what is the greatest contribution of your country to the world? And that was asked to all the top 5.
She said, I believe that my country has been an example to be followed. We are persevering people no matter what obstacle, and we continue fighting for what we want to accomplish, that withstanding many difficulties we have gone through, we are world leaders in many different areas. I'm proud to represent that all to you. That's a pretty sick answer.
Yeah, she did a really good job. Then we have 2015. 2015.
Yeah.
First question that Pia was asked was specific to the country. Earlier this year, there was a controversy between the U.S. reopening a military base in your country. Do you think the U.S. should have a presence in your country, the Philippines? She said, I think the United States and the Philippines has has always had a good relationship with each other. We were colonized by the Americans and still have a lot of American culture in our traditions. I think we're very welcoming with Americans, and I don't see anything wrong with that at all. I love this. With this type of answer, you can envision, you know what I mean? Like, you can envision the Philippines, you envision like American culture being in the Philippines, you can like see something happening. Like, it's almost like she's telling a mini story.
It was super compelling. Listening to it, you're like hanging on every word, basically.
Yeah, and then Steve literally said, wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then she made it, of course, into the final 3, the top 3. She was last called into the top 3. The question was,
why should you be the next Miss Universe?
I can hear it in my head because I've heard this so many times.
Look at the camera.
To be a Miss Universe is both an honor and a responsibility. If I were to be Miss Universe, I would use my voice. To influence the youth. Certain causes like HIV awareness that is timely and relevant to my country, which is the Philippines. I want to show the world, the universe rather, that I am confidently beautiful with a heart.
Yeah.
This is the most quoted, talked about Miss Universe answer ever. The confidently beautiful with a heart, the universe rather, those few lines, those couple lines are the most like said, repeated, talked about, quoted, all the things Miss Universe answered ever.
I totally agree with you. Like, even before I kind of got into all this, I knew about this quote.
Then we have 2016, the top 5 question asked to Iris.
Her top 5 question was, given today's worldwide refugee crisis, do countries have an obligation to accept refugees, or do they have a right to close their borders? And she basically just gave like a super wishy-washy answer, basically. Like, it really was.
Yeah,
Like, she talked about how France and in Europe they have open borders, and that's good because it's like basically the exchange of people coming in and out. But she never really gave she never really answered the question.
No, that's the thing, is she didn't address the actual substance of the question, which was talking about the refugee crisis.
Right.
But you know what? This is a really, really, really hard question.
Definitely, yeah.
And I think she did obviously she did as best she could have in the moment. And I saw a quote from Paulina Vega actually that said that a lot of people would criticize her about not knowing things about world issues, and she would say, there are leaders who ask me these questions who have had years of experience, and even they don't know the answer to these questions. So why should I know the answer to these questions? But of course, it's supposed to be an opinion.
You gotta pick your words wisely, for sure. It's, as we all know, it's very easy to offend people, like super easily. Like, when somebody like that and on the Miss Universe stage, you know that what you say is going to be heard and seen all over the world. So
this did not stop her from making it into the final 3. Name something over the course of your life that you failed at and tell us what you learned from that experience. The answer that she gave was not translated correctly. So in the translation, he said something about, I failed many times in my life, so I thought I failed the first time I went to a casting because my name was not on the list. The next day I found out I was in a new book. So I think when you fail, you have to be elevated and you have to try again and keep going. The crowd went crazy. Basically, the misinterpretation was that it wasn't a casting, rather it was medical school.
Yeah, I guess the actual translation was, I thought I had failed my first year in medical school because my name was not on the passing list. The very same day I went to buy a new set of medical books to keep on studying.
Which I think also probably wasn't 100% translated correctly because she was in dentistry.
Right.
Maybe it's the same thing in I don't really know. Anyways, it wasn't translated perfectly, but I mean, she still wowed the crowd. It was something that was memorable. It was something that was inspirational. And this is where she's bringing something in that's part of who she is, something she's done. It's something that we can envision. Then moving on to 2017, Demi Lee. Demi Lee, to me, was one of the most to-the-point answer givers ever. She was asked in the top 5, women make up 49% of the global workforce. What do you believe is the most important issue facing women in the workplace, and why?
Her answer is, in some cases, women get paid 75% of what men earn for doing the same job, working the same hours, and I do not believe that is right. I believe we should have equal work for equal pay for women all over the world. Thank you. So super to the point, answers
Yeah.
the question very concisely, clearly.
Her question in the final 3 was, what quality in yourself are you most proud of, and how will you apply that quality to your time as Miss Universe? She literally did not hesitate. Boom, she went into it. As Miss Universe, you have to be confident in who you are as an individual. A Miss Universe is a woman who has overcome many fears, and by that, she is able to help other women overcome their fears. She is a woman that nothing is ever too much to ask for, and I believe that is exactly who I am. Thank you.
Yeah. For how like awesome that answer is and how off the cuff and quick that it was, is there any way that she could have heard through those?
Through the headphones?
Yeah.
Brennan, there's a conspiracy here. Brennan is convinced that she knew what the question was before she got up there.
Yeah, I mean, who knows, I guess.
And who really knows? She nailed it. Like,
Yeah,
it was so good.
All right, moving on to 2018.
Catriona.
So the question was, Canada recently joined Uruguay as the second nation in the world to make marijuana legal. What is your opinion of the legalization of marijuana? And this was not a very good answer, I don't think.
I'm for it being used in medical use, but not so for recreational use, because I think if people were to argue, what about alcohol and cigarettes? Well, everything is good, but in moderation.
Sorry. It's obviously like, it again.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. But yeah, it was not great.
Right.
Then we have the final word from
Mhm.
Catriona Gray. So obviously she made it to the final 3. What is the most important lesson you've learned in your life, and how would you apply it to your time as Miss Universe? I work a lot in the slums of Tondo, Manila, and the life there is very poor and very sad. I've always taught myself to look for the beauty in the faces of the children and to be grateful. I would bring this aspect as a Miss Universe to see situations with a silver lining and to assess where I could give something, where I could provide something as a spokesperson. If I could also teach people to be grateful, we could have an amazing world where negativity could not grow and foster, and children would have a smile on their face. Thank you. So this for sure is something she would have thought about,
Oh, 100%.
prepared.
Yeah, it was awesome though. Like her
Yeah.
delivery was sweet, and Catriona has such good public speaking skills in general, and just super likable. You
Yeah,
know, like
very captivating.
Yeah, everything she says, like you just kind of hang on every word. So.
Yeah, and the thing that I really like about this is that she gives something that we can visualize. She talks about being in the slums of Tondo, Manila, the children, like we can visualize that, and that's something that's so powerful that just really drives some of this home. And not only can we visualize that, it's something that she has done, so we can visualize her doing that.
Yeah, in turn, kind of makes her more likable.
Yeah.
Really. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Then we have 2019 Zosie.
The answer was awesome, but I'll read the question first.
Sure, yeah.
Are leaders of today doing enough to protect future generations from climate change? If not, what more should they be doing? Her answer was awesome because she basically said, like, yeah, the leaders or future leaders can be doing a lot, but like everybody can can be making a change too. Like it doesn't just have to be them, basically.
Well, and she says that we have children who are protesting for the climate, and as adults we should be joining as well and doing more as adults. So not only should the leaders be doing more, it's that like there are children who are actually protesting for this. The government should take it seriously, and that she's been learning about the climate since grade 6. The planet is dying. It's up to us to keep our planet safe.
Right.
So then, of course, she made it into the final 3, in which she was asked, along with the other 2 finalists in the final 3, what is the most important thing we should teach young girls today? And she gave her epic answer, in which she said, I think the most important thing we should be teaching young girls today is leadership. It's something that has been lacking in young girls and women for a long time, not because we don't want to, but because of what society has labeled women to be. I think we are the most powerful beings in the world, and we should be given every opportunity, and that is what we should be teaching young girls, to take up space. Nothing is more important as taking up space. This is one of the most impactful answers ever given at Miss Universe.
Kind of skin and my kind of hair was never considered to be beautiful. And I think that it is time that that stops today. I want children to look at me and see my face, and I want them to see their faces reflected in mine. Thank you.
So that wraps up winning answers of the decade. We don't like it when our videos are too long, and this one is getting way too long. So we wanted to talk about our favorite answers of the decade, what we thought were the most memorable, the highlights of the decade, but we're gonna make that an entirely separate video.
Basically, yeah. I think at this point that's probably the best option because I don't think you guys like watching 25-minute videos.
So our next video then, our personal favorite answers of the decade. This is too late. Now it's like 2 in the morning. It's like 2 in the morning and we're recording this. This is too much. Okay, well, if you want to subscribe, hit the notifications bell to see that next video coming out.
Here we go.
I'll put our Instagrams down below in the description box and we will see you guys there. Lily will be in the next video.